I want to wash and decontaminate my ride like a pro. The question is, where do I start?
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today, we're going to delve into what is washing, what is decontaminating, and what do I need to do it?
Yeah, where do I start? I've seen the foam on the cars. I've seen the TikTok reels. I've seen people doing things with brushes, with wash mitts. There's sponges.
Yeah.
Ivan, you've taught detailing. You have been doing this for more than 40 years. Where would I begin?
I would begin with Rinseless Wash. Rinseless Wash is the most versatile product in anyone's arsenal because it can do so many things for you. It can wash the car, it can wash the interior, it can clean the windows, it can clean your pads. It has a plethora of uses. And Rinseless Wash is just a simple to use product. You don't need a lot of water, you don't need a pressure washer, you don't need a lot of fluff, we'll put it that way.
256 to 1. 1 capful per gallon, 4 milliliters to a liter, 1 ounce per 2 gallons of water.
Yeah.
Those all sound like different dilutions, Ivan.
They're all the same. Just very simple. Basically, we only have one dilution ratio. Whether you're cleaning your windows, whether you're cleaning your interior, whether you're cleaning your exterior, whether you're cleaning your wheels, it's 256 to 1. It's that simple.
So I guess in the where do I start category, this is the #1 product I'd recommend. Rinseless Wash, so incredibly versatile. Start there.
Right.
But there's a lot else going on, Ivan. I can just feel myself as the beginner at home. What do I do next?
Let's stop the overthinking train here.
Okay.
We have 2 products to wash. We said wash and decontamination. We have 2 wash products. We have the Rinseless Wash and we have Incredible Suds. Now, Incredible Suds is our super foaming, very active surfactants wash shampoo or soap, however you want to look at it. And what it does is it encapsulates the dirt, somewhat like Rinseless, but in a beautiful layer of foam.
Foam is fun.
Yeah.
And foam is working on your behalf. Now, the beauty of the Rinseless Wash is it has incredible lubrication, so you can actually wash your vehicle, take your drying towel, and be done. With a soap like Incredible Suds, you do your contact wash, there's still this soapy foaminess on the surface of your vehicle. You gotta do that final rinse, and then you dry. So as a professional, Ivan, that's why you're such an advocate of Rinseless, is it saves time and water, and time is money.
Yeah, it definitely is a time saver.
But foam is so much fun. If you wanna do this at home because you love suds and people just love suds and it's visually stunning. Like, I get it, it is fun. And so when I'm at home and I'm just trying to zen out, I want to foam that car. I want to see the suds, the shaving cream lather. The reality is both of these are equally as effective in terms of awesome cleaning.
Yeah, for the Incredible Suds in your foam cannon, the dilution ratio is 1 ounce of Incredible Suds to 32 ounces of water, or 30 milliliters per 1 liter.
And most foam cannons that you get out there, including the Quiver, their top line is going to be 32 ounces. So it's really simple. You fill the water first. You don't fill the product first. Otherwise, you'll get a Suds volcano and you won't get your dilution right. Fill the water first, then put your Incredible Suds in. But yeah, 32 to 1. Once you start with this detailing world and you just get the reps in, it'll all start to make more sense. You just got to get experience and don't be afraid to start.
And in your bucket, the dilution ratio is actually 1,000 to 1. So it's very, very concentrated.
You don't need to waste product in your wash bucket. I'll often just put my Incredible Wash mitt in my bucket, and then I'll just use whatever's left in my foam cannon. I might have a little layer at the bottom and just spray it in there. The Suds is like a volcano. I like wasting product. I like overusing product. Do not waste your precious Incredible Suds by glugging it into the bucket. It gives you no extra benefit.
None at all.
So that's one place to save. Ivan, speaking of wash media, which maybe I just jumped the gun on that, but we have a sponge. It's very compatible with our Rinseless Wash. We have our Incredible Wash mitt. It's incredible? It's almost like they were designed to work together.
They were.
This is for Incredible Sud, this is for Rinseless Wash. Can you talk about wash media choice?
Right, so we have actually 3 choices of wash media. We have, like Nick mentioned, the Incredible Wash mitt, we have the Legacy Sponge, and we have the Perfectly Safe Brush. Now, let's talk about the 3. Let's start with the Legacy Sponge, because it's the oldest one in the line here, and our top seller as well. Now, the Legacy Sponge is designed specifically to work with Rinseless Wash, works great with Incredible Suds, but its strong point is really with the Rinseless Wash. The way it works, it's a engineered foam. It's not your sponge out of your bathtub or out of your kitchen. No, it is not a grout sponge or anything like that. It's an engineered foam specifically designed to work with Rinseless Wash. The way it works, first, the shape. It's easy to hold. It's nice and thick. This thickness has a reason to prevent pressure points. So if you're washing the car, you're having to put a little pressure on this, it's not going to create pressure points. With a wash mitt, especially if you're putting your hand in it, now there's a bit of padding in here, but you have the risk of putting pressure points. If your fingers are like this inside your wash mitt, you have the risk of putting pressure points on the paint. Pressure is not something we want to do in detailing. So we're mitigating pressure points with the thickness of the sponge. The other thing is, you look at the surface of it, it's all cut into little cubes. These little cubes allow the sponge to be flexible and follow the surface of the vehicle quite easily. The other thing that they do, if you do have some large grit on the surface, it's going to get lodged between them temporarily. Now, one thing we've been teaching for years is this should be on the verge of dripping. You don't take it out of your bucket sopping wet and put it on your car. That is a no-no.
Sponges actually absorb better when they're dry, right?
Right.
They're designed to absorb.
Right, we want the sponge to absorb. That's what we wanted to do. So we pre-spray the rinseless wash on the surface, let it sit there for a few minutes to emulsify and break down the dirt and encapsulate it. And it actually lifts it off the surface very microscopically, but it lifts the dirt off the surface. Then when we go over it with the sponge being just on the verge of dripping, absorbs that rinseless wash that's on the surface of the car, bringing it into the sponge. Then we take our sponge, it has the dirt on it. It's looking disgusting. We put it in our wash bucket. As soon as it touches that wash bucket, the sponge, when it's full of water, wants to release everything. It wants to find its own equilibrium. It releases all that dirt into the wash bucket. And don't worry, the dirt that's in your wash bucket stays in your wash bucket. It's not going back onto the car.
Whereas with our Incredible Wash Mitt, I often like to get it in my Incredible Suds bucket.
Yeah.
And I like it nice and sopping and
Right,
soapy,
yeah.
right? So in that case, it's not on the verge of dripping.
No, your wash mitt definitely needs to be wet. And some people like to use a wash mitt with their hand inside of it. Some people like to use it as a wash pad, and that's why we made our cuff so that it can fold in, and now you can use it as a wash pad. You don't have to worry about the cuff hanging out.
I prefer it kind of like this.
Right.
Because when I get my hand in there, then I don't have as much surface under my hand to mitigate against, oop, my finger pressed a little too hard, right? Because anytime we're touching the paint, with this, with anything else, we have more to tell you about. We have a towel, we have another brush. We'll get there in a second. Anytime you touch your paint with something, you risk scratching. And that's why we're leveraging these chemicals and these processes, as you would say, or processes, to mitigate against scratch risk.
Right.
We want to keep your vehicle looking amazing, and I think you do too, and that's why you're watching. Sometimes we get people commenting, Ivan, on our TikTok, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, on our Facebook videos. They're like, you guys are overcomplicating this. It's just washing a car, get a life.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, there's people out there who care.
Yeah.
That's why you're watching. You get it. If you care, write in the comment below that you support the mission.
Right.
Of keeping cars shiny and beautiful.
The last wash media we have, and the newest one in the family, is our Perfectly Safe wash brush. And people don't equate a brush with Perfectly Safe. But no, the reason the name came about in testing, our testers that tried it, their first question, is this safe? My answer was, yes, it's perfectly safe. Don't worry about it. That's where we got the Perfectly Safe wash brush. Now, why is it safe? And that is the question. Not every brush is created the same. Our brushes, made in Taiwan, are a flag tip nylon. And you'll notice the flagging. That's this sort of whitish portion. It's 3/4 of an inch deep. That depth means that these bristles move very easily. They're extremely soft, and they carry a lot of the wash solution with them. So it's a very, very safe method. Also, the thickness of the brush means that even if you're putting a lot of pressure on it, it's always the flagged part that is in contact, not the bristle itself. And a flagged bristle means you've got a bristle that looks like this. When we flag the end, it does this. So it's split ends is another way of looking at it.
And they're what, dipped in acid, or how do they get that split end on a fiber?
They're acid dipped. And that makes it so it's a very durable brush. It is a brush that is soft. We have 3 levels, so as you're going across the surface, you're not gonna bump into things. And this is a very soft plastic. I'm warning you now, over time, this is gonna start looking beat up. The reason we wanted that, we want a soft plastic. If you accidentally touch the paint with it, it's not gonna damage your paint. Your paint is harder than this plastic.
So I'm sitting at home, I'm just like, give me the stuff that's gonna work for me really well, and then I can sort of like get my accessories later.
Yeah.
I want rinseless wash, I want a legacy sponge, and I want my perfectly safe brush. The reason I want the perfectly safe brush is I don't want to deal with roofs.
Right.
Hoods are usually okay. You may have a truck where even the hood is tough to get to.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna detail other people's vehicles too, it gets addicting. You're gonna start with yours,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden your neighbor's gonna say, well, can you do mine next? And you're like, yeah, I mean, maybe a couple $100 in my pocket. Yeah, maybe I can do this for a living. At least that's how it happened for me.
Yeah.
So you've been warned. It's very fun and addicting. You're gonna want that brush. You're gonna want the legacy sponge. I would say next, unless you already know you're a foam guy or gal, then I would probably go to my Incredible Suds and Incredible Wash Mitt. That's just the way I would do it, just because I'm getting so much versatility out of these. Now we got a couple other things to tell you about. We mentioned wash and decontamination. I want to build the foundation though.
Yeah.
So before I get to decon, I want to get my wash game locked in. So that's where I mentioned getting your mitt or your sponge or your brush and your wash solution. So pick one of these two, but I just kind of shared what I would do if I was just starting.
Right, now, we have one more wash media, and Nick has it in his hand. That is our wheel and body brush. And when you're cleaning a car, you want to clean the wheels at the same time. This brush is spectacular for that. And the clear coat that's on your wheels is just as sensitive as the clear coat on the rest of the car. You don't want something aggressive on your wheels. You don't want something that's going to scratch your wheels. That's where this brush comes in. So also flat tip nylon, like this one, but this is actually a little more rigid bristle. Still, people have been using it on paint for years. It works, it's great, it's soft enough to do that. But also, you have grills, you have little areas in the car that you can't get to with regular wash media. This will do it. But you need to clean your wheels. This is the primary tool that we use.
And just a quick housekeeping thing. Whenever you're detailing your car, we teach a foam rinse foam or a chemical rinse chemical. We put the chemical on first.
Right.
We let it dwell, emulsify, suspend, break down all that dirt on the surface. Then we rinse it with a garden hose before we touch it with our wash media.
Right.
Then we apply the same chemical again. So Incredible Suds or Rinseless Wash. Or there's like a slight variation where you can start with suds, rinse, and then use Rinseless. It's called a hybrid wash. The only reason we do that is you get the fun of foam, and then you get the efficiency of not having to rinse one more time and going right to your drying. So there's just a couple of variables there. When do they clean wheels, Ivan? And there's other brushes for that too, but this is so versatile, I would just start here.
Right, this is our best-selling brush for a reason. It just works, and it works in a lot of different circumstances. But your wheels, it's up to you. If you're doing a rinseless wash, they can be done at any time during the process. With the foam or a soap wash, I like to do them between the foam, the rinse, and the second foam. So we foam, we do the body and the wheels, we rinse, now we've taken the grit away.
Everywhere, on the wheels and the body.
Yeah, then we foam again. That second foaming, while it's on the wheels, that's when I start on the wheels. Let that second foam dwell a little longer on the paint. Break more of that traffic film down, break more of that dirt down.
Now is a good time, as we talk about wheel cleaning, to introduce you to another staple of our lineup, a highly diluted, highly concentrated cleaner. It happens to be called All Clean.
Right. Now, some companies will have a bug remover. They'll have a wheel cleaner. They'll have an engine bay cleaner. They'll have a very aggressive product for interior cleaning. That's what All Clean is. And All Clean, we have one very, very simple dilution ratio. That's 15:1. Now, in the 16-ounce bottle, it comes ready to use. It's already diluted 15:1. Now, in our 16-ounce bottle, it comes ready to use.
How convenient, Ivan.
Right, exactly. Meaning it's already diluted 15:1. I like to think of this as our teaser bottle to show you just how well it works, and then buy a gallon.
It comes with the trigger sprayer, so like you just undo the cap, put the sprayer in. You've got the same dilution that we're talking about that you'll see in our videos out of our fancy IK foamer. We're foaming it on wheels and everything. We just have the hyper concentrated gallon that we dilute. But if you're just, I don't want to deal with dilution ratios, this is it. It's already ready.
Yeah. Now, in the gallon though, highly suggest you get the gallon because it's such a versatile product. Like I said, it's a bug remover. It's an engine bay cleaner. It's a wheel cleaner. It's a tire cleaner. Yes, some people have different products to do wheels and tires. It's the same dirt that's on both. Anyways, figure it out. I don't know why they do that. It's literally the same dirt that's on your wheels, that's on your tires, that's on your car. But on the wheels, you get a little more accumulation. Wheels and tires, you get more accumulation. That's where that comes in. All Clean is very aggressive. If you're wanting to use it on interiors, we suggest 30-to-1 and up to 60-to-1 dilution ratio.
So All Clean is not something you ever want to dilute 5-to-1.
No.
Or 3-to-1, or use straight.
No.
You've been warned.
Yeah.
Don't think that we're just saying that. We're trying to save you product and save your vehicle. This is a very high-powered cleaner.
Right. Some all-purpose cleaners on the market have very, let's say, cheap chemistry. And if you accidentally spray it on glass, it's going to etch glass. Not ours. Not a problem. It rinses away cleanly. It's not going to etch anything. It's not going to damage anything. But dilute it 15-to-1.
I think we should talk about Iron Remover because it's a product that you can use on glass,
Right.
on paint, on plastics, on wheels.
Right.
But we're talking about wheel cleaning with All Clean. So what do I need to know about Iron Remover, when to use it, and how?
So Iron Remover is the wrong name. It should be called a rust converter. But I'll get into that in a second. It's the industry accepted name. That's why we call it Iron Remover as well, because you wouldn't find it without that. SEO obliges. Iron Remover is used not on a regular basis, but every 3-4 months on a car. You want to remove the iron. And where do we get the iron from? On a brand new car, if your vehicle was brought to you by train from the manufacturer to the dealership, there's probably iron particles all over it from the brakes on the train. When you're driving down the road, you hit your brakes. That brake dust contains a lot of iron, and it goes all over your paint. And eventually it starts to accumulate. When it starts to accumulate, that's where the Iron Remover comes in. But we have a very different way of teaching you to use Iron Remover because it is the most expensive chemical on this table. And other than a ceramic coating, an Iron Remover is the most expensive coating in any manufacturer's lineup.
Yeah, most expensive product.
Right.
I'm teasing this quad fold decontamination towel because
Right.
we often will pair it with the Iron Remover, Ivan.
Yeah.
You can keep talking. I'm just going to tease them.
So the Iron Remover, what it does is that little ball of iron eventually starts to rust. It gets water on it. When it starts to rust, then we see little stains. If you have a white car, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, go to the back of your car, look right around the license plate area. That's usually the worst. And look very closely. You'll see little rust stains. Those need Iron Remover. But that little ball of iron, because it was hot steel when it came off of your brakes, it attached itself to the paint. Your paint is plastic. Hot metal hitting plastic, it embeds itself. We need to remove that piece of metal. The Iron Remover, some people will have you spray a vast amount on the vehicle. I've seen you use almost a bottle on a car, and
it smells very strong, and it looks very nice. The purple streaks everywhere make you feel like you're really accomplishing something.
Yeah, and in actuality, you aren't, because the metal piece is still stuck to your paint. You need to dislodge that metal piece, and that's where the decontamination towel comes in. The decontamination towel, quad fold, so you have 4 sides to work with. It's easy to fold. The towel almost wants to fold itself. It's very simple to use. You wash your car, and you don't rinse it off. You leave the incredible suds, or you leave the rinseless wash on the surface. They're providing lubrication. You've done the contact wash, the surface is clean. Then you take 1 spray of Iron Remover on your towel, 1 spray on the panel. Where you spray it on the panel is where you deposit your towel, and you go over the surface. And you'll feel and hear the contamination, and eventually it gets smooth and quiet. And then you can move on to another panel. When you move to another panel, use another side of the towel. When you go to the 3rd panel, go to the 3rd side of the towel. When you go to the 4th panel, go to the 4th side of the towel. Then dunk it in your wash bucket. Start over again on the next panels.
The only time I go a little bit crazy with Iron Remover is I may start spraying them all over the wheels.
Right.
That's another spot you can use it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to paint and glass and plastic decontamination, I mean, you are using such little product. It is so efficient. This is a great system. And one thing that we've heard is, in terms of feedback from detailers, Ivan, is like, they love our decon towel. It's like their favorite product because it's just made washing and decontaminating so fast and effective.
Right. We're here to make your life easier.
Yeah.
If you're a professional, we're here to make your job easier.
I actually love this. Every wash, I'll just have it in my wash bucket. It's phenomenal at shaving off bug guts on glass.
Right.
So if you get all that splatter on your glass and if the windshield wipers aren't taking it off, do your regular wash. And if for some reason it's not moving the bug guts, because maybe it took you 3 weeks to get to the car wash, you know what I mean? This is so good on the glass as well. So usually we decontaminate quarterly, don't overthink that part of it. And we want to talk about water spot remover as well. but I like this in my wash bucket for my windshield. If you do too, let me know, or if you have other options that you like. We're always learning from you too. We're not just like on top of the mountain, only here to teach.
No.
We all have wisdom and knowledge, and so please leave comments. We answer them all. Mostly Ivan answers them all. And we learn from your comments. We get video ideas from your comments. So please subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment. Not for the algorithm, but for the human collective knowledge.
Right. Now, the towel is compatible with these 3 products. Never use this with these 2. It's not going to end well.
Don't use All Clean as a clay lube.
No.
Don't use Water Spot Remover as a clay lube.
No.
Wait a minute. Clay lube? This isn't even clay.
No. We call it some people will call it a clay towel. And actually, I think on the package, we call it a clay towel. Again, SEO obliges. There's no clay involved. This is a synthetic material that's designed to, for lack of a better term, pluck the contaminants off the surface.
Let's talk about Water Spot Remover.
Right.
It is not necessarily my goal when I use this to remove water spots, but that's the name. So again, let's tell people what this is and why they'd ought to use it.
Right. It's doing a mineral cleanse. And your vehicle, whether you see them or not, is covered in the light film of minerals. That comes from water. That comes from your tap water. That comes from driving down the road. There's all sorts of ways to get minerals on the paint, and we don't see them. Now, if you get a water spot, that's very visible. You can see that one. But in reality, even if you don't have water spots on your car, you do have minerals. And those minerals hide the paint. And eventually, your paint doesn't bead water anymore. That's because it's just covered in minerals, and the minerals are hygroscopic. They want to absorb water, therefore they just keep the water on the surface. Remove the minerals from the surface, and you have paint. Paint by itself is extremely hydrophobic. If you've ever had the chance of having a car repainted at a body shop, put water on it as soon as it comes out of the booth, you will never see such a hydrophobic surface.
This is such a great product, and we mentioned it last because it's probably the last product in this chronological order I would buy.
Yes.
But it's not less important than all of them. This is a great way to rejuvenate a ceramic coated vehicle that has stopped water beading because the minerals get embedded into that coating. This is a great product to prep before ceramic coating and polishing. It is a great product to use as a maintenance, I want to deep clean my car, it's been a couple of months.
Yes.
Do the iron remover with the decon towel, then rinse so you have clean wet paint. Spray on water spot remover and then agitate in with a short nap towel, dunked in your wash bucket, almost wrung out, and you're just spreading the product. You're not flipping the towel. You've already cleaned it. You've already decontaminated it. You've already rinsed it. You've got clean paint. Your lowers are clean. Your glass is clean. Don't worry about it. Do not flip that towel and just work the entire vehicle, then rinse it away and just, the water beads are back. The paint is so fresh. This is a phenomenal product, Ivan, and it's very versatile as well.
Right.
But it's not a clay lube.
No, it's not a clay lube.
Because people want to combine the 2 steps.
Yeah, no.
Maybe I can do this and that at the same time.
And also, it is something that should be your last decontamination step. You want to remove the iron. You want to remove the dirt off the surface. You want to remove the iron. Then the last thing left remaining is the minerals. And no, a clay towel will not remove water spots.
Just in Nick's R&D, I've tried water spot remover first.
Yes.
Before All Clean, before Incredible Suds, before Rinseless Wash, before iron remover. And it doesn't bring the paint back, snapping the beads back. It's it's fighting against too much early on.
Yes.
And I used so much product, and it was I used a whole bottle of water spot remover to pre-treat. I was like, this is gonna work great.
Yeah.
Use it in the steps we recommend. Because you could waste a lot of product trying your own way. You'll eventually get to the armchair chemist that every detailer gets to, where you're combining this product and that product. We have a recipe. If you follow it, we can pretty much guarantee the result. So I would start there.
Right. And finally, the last thing about washing is you need to dry the paint. And finally, one thing that's important here is the sprayers. Some of these products you spray on the surface. The iron remover, the All Clean, and the water spot remover. Our sprayers are not just randomly chosen. They're actually designed to go with this. So one thing that's very important with our sprayers is the quantity of liquid they put out for every spray, which is 1.1 milliliters. And some people, they like to buy these fancy bottles to, so their garage all looks the same. The problem with those is every spray you're doing is usually between 1.8 and 2 milliliters. So you're using twice as much product by using those sprayers.
Which could be fun for you,
right?
But is not efficient and is not nice on your wallet. And these Tolco sprayers out of Taiwan, They're fantastic. They're the industry best for a reason. We chose these because we want to bring you quality. Everyone's complimented our sprayers, and so you don't need to go buy other fancy sprayers, Ivan. You can if you want.
We
but this is
the best
recipe.
sprayer for the job.
Yeah, these come with everything except for your 16 ounce of Incredible Suds and your rinseless wash, because those are pouring in, right?
Yes.
You're not spraying any of those straight.
Right. But if it needs to be sprayed, it comes with a sprayer. Now, the one thing we haven't mentioned here is drying, but that's going to be in a future video.
So if you're wondering, like, how do I choose my drying aid? That's a thing. We've got more information on that right here.